So, hello guys, once again. Hi, and I'll be solving for now the laws of cosine or the cosine rule. You can call it the cosine rule or we call it the laws of cosine. And one thing I want you to realize first is I actually stated the congruence or the postulates of the triangles that can actually be possible using the laws of cosine. So most times we have side, 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 meaning to say we have the three sides given, or we have the side, angle, side postulate. But hopefully we can see examples. So if you haven't watched the first video that I had, the other video, the recent one I had on sine, make sure to check it out and also see the postulates for the cosine rule. Because I remember, if you check vividly, the postulate for the sine rule is the angle, angle, side. You can actually see the relationship, the angle, angle, side, and then the side, side, angle. So you already have like two sides in one angle, although it's very much identical, but it's almost impossible to try and solve um, using the postulates that are meant for the sine for the cosine rule. We can try it out, and we also have different formulas that we would also see and observe. If possible, we can also apply the sine rule using the cosine postulates. So just take note that these postulates are exact postulates that you can actually use whenever you're solving the laws of cosine. So you have the side, 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 or you have the side, angle, okay, side, angle, and side. So these are the postulates that you can actually adopt whenever you're solving the laws of the cosine. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to see this time around how we can use these laws now. All right, so let's start. Um, I'll just show you guys quickly um, an example, and hopefully we can draw already. And I'll try to explain why we cannot use this for the sine rule and why it is only restricted to the cosine rule. And at the same time, I hope you may have been taught how we prove or how we got the laws of cosine. I mean the formulas from using the right angle triangle and the SOHCAHTOA. Okay, the SOHCAHTOA, that means the sine opposite over hypotenuse. The cosine is the adjacent over hypotenuse, and then the tan is the opposite over the adjacent. Yes, that's correct. So anyway, I'm just making up some postulate triangles there. Hopefully, you cannot always just follow up. Okay, just remember the postulates, and remember you can always solve this anytime. So let's go ahead and apply these laws and see what they are. The postulate actually, and see where it applies and where it doesn't apply. So I have, for example, if we have a question, number one, that where A is equals to 60. Okay, I'm just trying to experiment and let's see how possible we can use this. So we have B. I'm sorry. All right, so I'm gonna try and apply the first postulate with the side, side, side. Where A, remember small letter A is equals to 10. And then I have my B, okay? I have my B, which is equals to 20, or 20. And then I have my C, which is equals to 60 degrees now. Okay, so I'm trying this one. So C, big C, is equals to 60 degrees. So this is the postulate that I'm going to try. But let me first of all draw, and let's see if that is the actual postulate that I am referring to. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the postulates, and let's see if this is evidable or an evidence of what I mean. So let's label the triangle. Remember, we just label how we label. So it's A here. I want my A to be at the top. Make this neat. A at the top, B, and C. Just how you want to do it. Just feel free to label your triangle the way you want. It will do nothing. Okay? So I hope you still remember how we're able to identify the small sides. A, this is the side that reflects downwards. B is the side that reflects this way. And C is the side that also reflects this way. So I hope you still remember. Okay? So I'll go ahead now and start. So this is my A side, this is my B, and this is my small c. All right. So let's go ahead and draw and identify this triangle here that I just have here. So my A will be 10, and my B is 20, and my C, this is 60 degrees by the way. So I have 60 degrees here. As you can see, this is side angle sine. So this is SAS. So this is the postulate that we have here. Sorry about that. So this is the postulate rather that we have here. I don't know why it's not a, sorry, it's side angle side. So this is the postulate that I'll be using right now, and we can already apply and see. But let's try to think. Some of you might be thinking, why can't we use the same sine rule here and see if it's going to work? So let's try and see. So the sine rule says it's A over sine A. Let's check it out. Is equals to B over sine B is equals to C over sine C. So let's check it out. So we have A. What is A? A is 10 over what is sine A? We don't have sine A. What is B? B is 20, and we still don't have sine B. And we have C. We only have the angle here, sine C. So looking at this, obviously, even if we pick any of these two, we still cannot solve any of the postulates. So the best option is to apply the law of cosine. And the law of cosine basically has its own formula. Okay, it has its own formula, and these are the formulas. Please just take note of the formula, and you can always know when to apply this formula. So let's start with something very simple. So we have the small letter a square, from the law of Pythagorean theorem, or Pythagorean theorem. It's a is equals to, this is for the laws of cosine, b plus c squared minus 2bc cos. Okay, I'm gonna clean this out because I want it to be 2bc cos. Wait, for what? Cos a. So it's going to be capital letter A. So for b squared, please take note of this formula. It's going to be a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cos, forgive the cos b. For c squared, it will be a squared plus b squared minus 2bc, or 2ab rather, pardon me, 2ab cos c. So these are the three formulas that you can actually apply at any point in time. Okay, when you're able to find one side that actually can give you this formula, then you can go ahead and apply the sine formula in order to get the other side. So let's not rush. Let's look at the postulate. So what triangle, what side can we possibly find with this? So for me, as I can see, we have side B, and we have side A, and we also have an angle. So this formula here is very much possible because we have side A and side B. So we have to look for what? Side C. So looking using this formula here, I'll just push this forward a little bit. So I can have my C square is equals to, what is my A? My A is 10 square plus my b square is 20 square minus 2 10 times 20 cos 60 degree, as you can see here. So what is my c square? My c square is equals to, what is my 10 square 20 square? So my 10 square plus 20 square is equal to 500. So this is 500 minus this is 20 times, this is 200. So I'll just go ahead and try to simplify everything. So it's minus just to make everything more simplified, it's going to be, let's solve this first. So it's 2 times whatever is here is 200 times 2 times 2, so it's 200. Okay, So cos 60. So let's go ahead and finish this problem once and for all. So we have c squared is equals to 500 minus 400 cos 60 degrees. So I'll just go ahead and impute that cos 400 times cos 60. So c squared is equals to 500 minus 200 already. So if you do this already, you end up getting 200. Just use your calculator. This is half already. Cos 60, I think it's half. Yes. Cos 60 is equals to half. Okay? Cos 60 is equals to half. You can check that out on your computer. So on your calculator rather. So we have c squared is equals to 500 minus 200, which is equals to I think we're going to have 300 here. C squared is equals to 300. So what is the square root of 300? Square root of 300 is 10 root 2. So I can have 10 root 3, or we can have it in decimal if you want to. We can have it as 17.32. Okay, so it's your choice. You can put it whatever you want to put it, as long as your teacher accepts in whatever process or method you want to write here. But for me, I think I'll prefer 10 root 2, 10 root 3 rather. I prefer this one. All right, so let's go ahead and find the angle. Let's go ahead and find the angle inside of the B angle, or the B angle here. Let's see if we can solve for the angle. So I'm going to use, now I can actually employ this method here in solving this. I can use that method because I already have my C. Let's see if I have my C already. Yes, I have my C and I have my angle for C. So I can say 10 over sine A is equals to, what is my C? 10 root 3 over, what is my sine C? Sine 60 degrees. So I can already employ this in order to find my sine A. Yes, I can use this in order to find sine A already. So that's a plus point for me already, because now I can use the postulates of the sine, which is the angle side, or side angle. Okay, so I have the angle side, or side angle. So I can already use this one here. I'm so sorry, it's a bit rough. So I'm just going to clean this out just so we can have a clean work. Sorry about that. So I have this already. Just cancel it out. Yeah. So here I'm going to have, let's cross multiply. You can always chat on the chat box if something is actually confusing for you here. I forgot to use a different color. So this is a different color here. So I have sine A 10 root 3 is equals to 10 sine 10 root 3. Sorry about that. So it's going to be 10 times sine 60. So remember sine 60. All right, so we have sine A, divide both sides by 10 root 3, divide both sides by 10 root 3. So this cancels out. So we have sine A is equals to, so let's check this out. So the answer will be 10 times sine 60 divided by 10 root 3. So the answer will be 0.5. So remember how we do it. Divide both sides by sine and divide both sides by sine. So if you divide both sides by sine, you end up having sine cancel sine. So we're left with a is equals to 1 over sine 0.5. And then take this one, it becomes the inverse. It becomes, we have the sine inverse of 0.5. So what is the sine inverse of 0.5? You can actually punch that on your calculator to find that. This is the law of indices, actually. So the sine inverse of your answer is 30. So A is equals to what? 30 degrees. Remember, when you change the sine inverse, you end up getting an angle. So I already have the value for A as 30 degrees. So if this is 30, this is 60, this is already what? 90. So yes, we're fortunate enough to have B as a right angle triangle. So this is how easy the steps can already be. All right, so maybe you might be confused how I got 90. So the first time, remember, A plus B plus C. Maybe I need to do this up here just to make things more clear for everyone. So A plus B plus C should be equals to 180 degree because this is angle in the triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this one here. So I have my A to be 30, which I just calculated now, plus my B, I don't know the B, and my C is already 60 degrees, so it's all 180. So this is 90 plus B is equals to 180 degree. So therefore, B is equals to 180 minus 90. So you just take this to the other side. So what is my answer? Which is equals to 90 degrees. That is why we have a 90 degree here. Okay, so let's solve another question, and hopefully we can then call it a day. And using the second postulate, because we talked about two different postulates, which is the side, and the side angle side. So we just solved the side. So let's try to solve the side angle side. So I have a question here that we can actually employ, or we can try out. Okay, so feel free to try out the questions out before I can go ahead and solve it. So I have something like this. All right, so this is my triangle. So I'm just gonna go ahead and label this A. I'll label this B. Okay, I'll leave it this C. So you might see a triangle in any form. It's all left for you to decide how you want your triangle to be. So the first one we have the side angle side, and now let's have the side. Okay, we have three sides, we have no angles, and then you're being asked to find an angle. This is not a right angle triangle. You are not given, or neither were you told, that this is a right angle triangle. How then can you solve it? Now this is where the law of cosine comes in. As you can see, this is side. We're only given this postulate. So let's go back to using our formula. Remember the formula we have, where a squared is equals to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Remember, so b squared is equals to c squared. Let's start with a. Okay, so a squared plus c squared, you can just include minus 2ac cos b. C squared is equals to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos c. So this is the formula that you have, and we have the three sides. So let's choose the angle that you most likely prefer to solve. So guys, I would love to use the angle, the first one. Let's use the first one. Okay, that's just my choice. So you can use any one that you want to use, and then just solve for the angles already. So for a, so all I have to do is make cos a the subject formula. So I'm going to come here, I would say a squared is equals to my b squared plus c squared minus 2bc, sorry about that, cos a. So if you have something like this, what do you do next? You just move the b and the c to this side. Okay, move B and C to that side. So we have A squared minus B squared minus your C squared is equal to negative 2BC cos A. All right. So what next do we do? Because remember, I was telling that we have to make only the cos A subject formula. That is our target here. So nothing is more important to us than making only cos A our subject formula. So let's divide both sides by minus 2BC. So this cancels out. So cos A now, okay, is equals to A squared minus B squared minus C is equals to minus 2BC. All in the name of looking for cos A, looking for this angle. Okay, because when you find the cos A, you then find the inverse. You convert the value to the inverse of cosine. Okay, and then you can already find the angle. That is the essence. That is theta already. The theta, the angle for A. So let's go ahead and substitute this value here and see how we can already start integrating. So having my formula ready, what my cos A is equals to, what is my A? Remember, this is your A, this is your B, this is your C, and this is what your B. Take a look at it. Take a look at this. Okay. So my A is 7. So it's 7 squared minus my B is 8. So it's 8 squared minus my C is 9 squared. 9 squared divided by minus 2. What is my B again? 8 times, what is my C? 9. So this is exactly what we're dealing with. Exactly what I was trying to say. You can use the cosine rule to find all of the angles, or you can just find another angle and then use the sum of angle in the triangle to find the third angle. It will be better that way, just to save yourself some time. Although the process is very efficient, you can actually trust exactly what is happening. So so cos A is equals to, so what is 7 squared minus so it's 7 squared minus 8 squared minus 9 squared. Wow, can you imagine the progression? So I have here minus negative 96 divided by, so I have minus 2 times 8 times 9, so it's minus 2 times 8. Yeah, so I have minus 2, 8 times 9. This is negative 144. So if you divide this together, if you work on this calculation here, cos A should be equals to negative 96 divided by that one. You should have 2 over 3. So you have to convert. Remember how we do it. This becomes over cosine. Divide everything by cosine. So if cosine cancels cosine, you have A is equals to 1 over cosine. I'm just separating them, okay, multiplied by 2 over 3. Okay, so let's take the inverse. You take the inverse of that one. So A is equals to cos negative 1, open the bracket, 2 over 3. If you don't like 2 over 3, you can already change 2 over 3, and 2 over 3 is the same thing as if you don't like that one, you can always use this value. A is equals to the cos inverse of 0.6667. So what is the cos inverse of that answer? And that is A is equals to 48.19 degrees. So this is the value for A. So let's go ahead and substitute the value 48.19 degrees. Yeah, we've solved so much already. So this is 48.19 degrees. Guys, you can actually go ahead and use the sine rule now, because we have this side and this angle. So we can already substitute for this side, yes, and that angle. So for me, I still love to use the cosine rule, but at the same time, you can actually use both rules in solving problem. Okay, so let's just use the sine rule and make things easier because already we have something similar. So we can use the sine A, sorry, it's A over the sine A is equals to B over the sine B is equals to C over, pardon me, C over sine C. So let's check it out and see if we can actually solve already using any of the three sides just to find the angle in between. Okay, so I have my A. A is 7 over, what is my sine A? Sine A is 48.19 is equal to, what is my B? My B is given, which is 8 over sine B, which is my C over, what is my C? Anyway, I have my C already, which is 9 over sine C. So I can already use this one here to find the value of my sine B, or my B rather. I can already find the value for my B. So that is what I'm going to do. So let's find the value for B. So the first thing we're going to do, remember, is to cross multiply as much as possible. So just try to cross multiply as much as possible. So we have sine B times 7 is equals to 8 times sine 48.19. So let's multiply 48.19 times 8. So we can go ahead actually and divide both sides by 7 already. So we can divide both sides by 7 just to cancel out the 7. So we have the 7. So we have 8 by this. So sine B is equals to, I hope you can actually see exactly what I'm doing here. So sine B is equals to, this is not A, this is B. Okay, I'm just going to clean it out so it looks better. So sine B is equals to 8 over this divided by 7. So if you do that already, divided by 7, you should end up having 0.8518, something like this. So remember the same process, divide both sides by sine, divide by both sides by sine. So you can have, your sine can already cancel. So we already cancel. So we have B is equals to the sine inverse, okay, of 0.8518. So what is B? It's on your calculator. So just put the sign in there, and your answer will be 58.41. So this is the angle already, 58.41 degrees for the angle for B. So this is 58.41. I'm just going to make it smaller and better so it can be clear. Okay, so I have, remember we said A plus B plus C should always be equals to 180 degrees, if you still remember that one. So we already have our angle for A, which is 48.19. We already have for B, which is 58.41, but we don't have for C. So all equals to 180 degrees. So what is C? How do we find C? So let me just push this down a little bit. I'm just going to push this down a little bit so we don't get the process complicated. So I'll go ahead and solve this now. So here we have 48.19 plus 58.41. That is 106.6 plus C is equals 180 degrees. So C is equals to 180 degrees minus 106.6. So the value for C is 73.4 degree. This is a 3. So this is our value for the C, 73.4. So feel free at any time to chat me or make suggestions or comments at any time, just to make sure that you're actually solving and as most times are collaborating at the same time. So thank you so much for your time. Do have a wonderful day and good luck with your studies. Bye bye.